Shannon Sharpe is continuing to bring in the interviews. If you recall, he did a very viral interview with Cat Williams at the top of the year, went super viral. And now we have Monique. Monique did about a 3-hour interview with him where she spoke about everyone that she feels has harmed her in her career. She spoke on Oprah Winfrey. She spoke on Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart, D.L. Hughley. And with D.L. Hughley, if you recall, they had a little beef a few years ago when they did a tour together, and there was a question about who was the headliner, and they just kind of had a back and forth that really went personal online. And I think Monique even spoke about his daughter and had to come out and apologize for the things she said about his daughter. And just recently, D.L. Hughley, actually just last night, he responded to her interview with Shannon Sharpe and pretty much said that she spoke untruths.
My co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she said she got off. She called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints, I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't, because I respected her wishes.
So when I said what I was saying, let me be clear to you, D.L. Hughley, it had nothing to do in reference to your family, and you know that. Now, when you were speaking and you were going off and you said, what did you say? She was so offended by the game we play, but you didn't say what the offense was. And that's the part for me that is disheartening, that you continue to try to trick and smoke and mirror our people. If you're going to say it all the way through. When you say family is sacred, you are absolutely right, baby. You're right. But when you say would my husband rather, and you co-sign your team of people doing that, well, isn't my husband sacred? So you got to be careful in your words, because the very words you use, DL, they're going to come back, and they're coming back to bite you, baby. And what I also said on Club Shay Shay, when I looked in that camera, I said, DL, I love you, brother. And I don't know if you didn't hear that part, but we really do. We love you, brother.
So, there's just a lot of back and forth going on between or among these comedians. And Tiffany Haddish also got some from Monique during this interview. And it didn't necessarily come out of nowhere, because Tiffany at one point did an interview with GQ where she spoke on Monique boycotting Netflix. And she said, quote, "My business runs differently than her business. I don't live her life. I don't have that husband of hers." So that statement right there, of course, rubbed Monique the wrong way, because it hit at her personally. So Monique with Shannon Sharpe hit back and said, look, when I saw that, it's like, Tiffany, if you had a husband like mine, you may not have had those 2 DUIs. If you had a husband like mine, you may not be caught up in what looks like you could have been grooming a child. So yeah, Monique went pretty low with that, but she was hurt with Tiffany, she feels, going low on her. And here's my thing. I hate to see these beefs. I hate to see our prominent Black celebrities going back and forth with one another personally. And I get it. These are individuals. They have their own relationships. They don't all get along, but I do feel like the personal jabs are really taking it a little too far. I would rather see these comedians, if able, come together, collab together, because, just think about it. How powerful would it have been to see a Tiffany Haddish and Monique comedy special? But here we are. Not everyone gets along, but I really do hope that the personal hits at one another can cease online. But what are your thoughts on this? Leave your comments below. I'm Stacey Brewer, and this is H Blues Word.